For the low anchored cable kickstand RDL with ipsilateral load. Ipsilateral load just means that it's going to be loaded on the same side as the front working leg when you're in the kickstand position. Ideally, you will have a cuff that you can slide your hand through that connects to the carabiner. If you don't, you're going to want to find an adjustable handle like this and slide the handle up towards one side, and then you would just insert your whole hand through, and then you can actually clasp the actual handle like this. We just don't want a lot of slack, because as you get lower in the hinge process, you don't want the weight to go to rest on the stack here. Okay, so I have the cuff on, so I'm just going to use that, but again, it would be slide through, and this would be connected to the carabiner. All right, so when we're doing a kickstand hinge, just in general here, I'm just going to show you without weight, but my arm would have the load here. All right, and this arm is going to stay long, and we want it to end aligned under the shoulder, which should end like lined up with the middle of your foot. It won't be over your foot, but next to it. All right, and when we do a kickstand hinge, the back foot is going to be like in a calf raise position, pushing us forward so we are centered over the front foot. All right, and then you would lead with the hip by driving back, and the knee is going to stay right over the bunny ears on the shoelace. You go back until your hip runs out of space to go any further. At this point, I would then stop and pull that hip back underneath me, like so. The back foot needs to stay in that calf raise position. As I hinge, that's keeping me centered over this, so my eyes will end up in front of my foot. If I get lax back there, what's gonna happen likely is that you're gonna shift your weight into that back foot, your knee will travel backwards, and then your vision ends up getting over the middle of your foot, where we would more so want to have you here in the forward position. That's going to maintain the tension in the glute that we're trying to focus on. If you shift back, you're not going to feel a lot of glute. You might just not know where you're feeling it. Really, it's going to be dispersed in other places. All right, so I'm going to stand up. I'm going to space myself as far as I need to not have the weight touch the stack. It's not going to work as well if you're super far from the machine, so try to really find something, or you can even just hold on to the little ball here in your hand like this. Might get tough if you're going high in weight, but you should be able to manage it for most of the weight. All right, so here, calf raise to shift myself over the front foot. I'm gonna soften up my knees. I'm not locked out and tense. I have my vision forward, which means I'm not all the way upright, opposed to being leaned forward. All right, so from here, really focusing on that back foot pressure to keep me over the front. I'm gonna actually even tap my hip flexors with my finger to signal my hip to start the motion. I'm controlling down, my knees over the bunny ears on the shoelace. My hip has no more space to go back, so now I'm gonna pull the hip all the way back underneath me, which means my vision should be straight ahead on the horizon. Okay, breathing, inhale, bracing, exhaling back up. Okay, you'll hit your prescribed reps, and then you'll flip to hit the other side.